Have you ever found yourself in this exact incredibly frustrating situation? You just need to do a ridiculously simple task on your phone.
Oh, I think I know where this is going.
Right, like maybe you're at a networking event and you just need to generate a quick QR code for your portfolio, or you're wrapping up a freelance gig and you just want to track your final hours.
Yeah,
But then this feeling of absolute dread just washes over you. Because to do that one simple thing, you realize you have to go into an app store, wade through a sea of promoted ads, and download some clunky 50 megabyte application that is going to permanently clutter up your home screen.
and it's going to ask for your location.
Exactly. A simple QR code generator is inexplicably going to ask for permission to access your microphone and your contacts.
It is a universally maddening experience. I mean, we have essentially been conditioned to constantly trade our device's local storage space, our privacy, and honestly, our time, just to access the most basic digital utility.
You really have.
We accept the friction because for a long time, there just wasn't a viable alternative for mobile users.
Which is precisely why today's deep dive is so relevant. We are exploring a massive, somewhat hidden ecosystem called the Free Web Apps Hub.
It's quite a find.
It's an entire catalog of digital tools built by a platform called Ufumbuzi. And we're talking about a massive suite here. Everything from heavy-duty productivity systems and encryption utilities down to highly niche things like a dog training whistle.
Yeah, the sheer variety is wild.
But our mission today isn't just to list off a bunch of free stuff you can bookmark. We want to uncover how these specific tools are fundamentally shifting how we interact with software architecture, giving you a leaner, faster, and far more private digital life.
And just to establish the stakes here right at the top, what we are looking at is not merely a neat collection of web utilities. It really represents a fundamental shift in technology distribution.
Right.
This approach empowers users like you to completely bypass traditional App Store gatekeepers. You are no longer reliant on a massive tech company's proprietary ecosystem,
Right.
or their mandatory 30% revenue cuts and arbitrary approval processes just to get the tools you need to function in your daily workflow.
Okay, let's unpack this, because the underlying technology making this possible is genuinely brilliant. We are talking about PWAs, or progressive web apps.
Yes, the unsung heroes of the modern web.
For those who haven't dug into mobile architecture lately, PWAs are basically bypassing the traditional browser wrapper entirely. By leveraging web manifest files and specific background scripts, they are hooking directly into your operating system.
They put on a disguise and act exactly like a native app.
Exactly. They have an icon, they run in standalone windows without that annoying URL address bar cluttering the UI, and they integrate straight into your system's app drawer.
The mechanics of those background scripts, specifically service workers, are really the linchpin of this entire ecosystem, and it's vital to understand why they matter to the end user.
Because traditional web apps fall apart the second you lose internet.
Exactly. You enter a subway tunnel, you lose your cell signal, the site crashes. But service workers act as a local proxy server sitting right between your browser and the network. They intelligently cache the app's HTML, CSS, and JavaScript.
So they live on your phone.
Right. This means these tools continue to function flawlessly even if you lose your connection entirely. They load instantly from your local cache rather than waiting for a server handshake.
I hear that, but I have to wonder, if these web apps are so lightweight and rely on browser engines, aren't we sacrificing the raw processing power and deep hardware integration we traditionally get from downloading a heavy, native app compiled specifically for iOS or Android?
Well, that was certainly the case maybe 5 years ago. But the gap has closed dramatically. Modern web APIs now allow browsers to access a device's local file system, Bluetooth, and even utilize hardware acceleration for complex graphics.
That's a huge leap.
It is. Furthermore, they update automatically in the background via those same service workers. You never have to go to an app store and manually manage version updates again.
No more red notification badges.
Exactly. They are inherently secured via forced HTTPS protocols, too. And because they are built on responsive web frameworks, the exact same code base adapts seamlessly whether you are on an ultra-wide desktop monitor, a tablet, or a mobile phone.
It's essentially delivering the premium, integrated experience of a native app, but without any of the storage bloat or privacy baggage.
Precisely.
And this ties perfectly into the core philosophy of the platform that built this hub. The name of the site, Ufumbuzi, actually translates to solution in Swahili. When you look at their overarching architecture, the goal is straightforward. They want to democratize access to digital tools by stripping away the friction of acquisition.
And the installation process really highlights that frictionless user experience.
Mm-hmm.
There is no app store involved whatsoever.
Yeah.
No accounts to create, no passwords to remember, just to download a calculator.
Mm-hmm.
If you are on an Android device, you just open the link, tap your browser menu, and select Add to Home Screen.
And on iOS, using Safari, you hit the share sheet and pick Add to Home Screen. On a desktop using Chrome or Edge, you just click the discrete install icon right in the address bar.
It takes maybe 3 seconds.
It's 3 seconds and boom, it's native to your machine. Which brings us to the actual tools themselves. Here's where it gets really interesting, especially if you are actively trying to optimize your workday or manage complex projects. Let's look at their time tracking app.
Oh, this one is fantastic.
It's not just a simple stopwatch widget. It's a highly customizable system where you configure granular activity classifications, set specific monthly time allocation goals, and monitor your compliance with real-time analytics.
The practical applications for this specific tool are extensive. Consider a freelance software developer who needs to bill multiple clients hourly. Traditional timesheet apps often lock your data into their proprietary cloud.
Yeah, and then they charge you a subscription to access it.
Right. With this PWA, a developer can record exactly how much time is spent on specific debugging tasks and then instantly export that session data. Because the data isn't trapped on a remote server, they have complete ownership of their metrics.
That is huge for freelancers.
It is equally valuable for internal corporate employees managing their own productivity, or even students who need to coordinate exactly how many hours different members are contributing to a massive group project.
What really caught my eye about the time tracker was the allowance for human error. You have the ability to retroactively modify an existing activity block.
Because we all forget to hit stop.
Every single day. If I step away for a coffee, I always forget to stop the timer. But here, you can simply go into the local database and edit the duration. Couple that with the ability to generate detailed monthly reports, and you have a robust time management system operating entirely offline.
It's a highly forgiving interface, and that thoughtful UI design carries over into their other productivity utilities too, like the checklist manager.
That one is so satisfying to use.
It relies heavily on touch gestures, allowing you to drag and drop items. But the crucial feature is that when you mark a task as complete, the app automatically pushes it to the absolute bottom of the list.
Right out of your line of sight.
Precisely. It is a simple but highly effective user interface choice that actively reduces a user's cognitive load. You aren't visually parsing through crossed-out items to find what actually needs your attention.
It just gets out of your way.
Yeah.
The Productivity Suite also features a Notes app, which operates as a full, rich text editor. You can format with links, bolding, and inline media. But the standout feature is the export capability.
Yes, the formats are very flexible.
You can push your notes out to raw text, HTML, or even JSON formats.
That JSON export is a massive utility for anyone working in development or data management. JSON, or JavaScript Object Notation, is the standard for data interchange. So if you are jotting down structured data, configurations, or localized string translations in this note tag, exporting to JSON allows you to instantly pipe that text file directly into a database or a code base. You don't need to reformat anything.
Yeah.
It basically turns a simple note-taking app into a viable development tool.
And speaking of practical tools, the GPS location tracker is fascinating. It's not trying to be Google Maps.
No, it's much more focused.
It's designed so you can grab your exact pinpoint latitude and longitude at a moment's notice. Save that localized coordinate, give it a custom description, and organize your saved spots into color-coded groups. Then, with one click, it pushes that exact coordinate data out to open natively in your map app of choice.
It is incredibly useful for field service workers. If you are an environmental scientist tracking specific soil sample locations, or, say, a utility worker logging the exact location of a remote transformer,
You don't need a bulky app.
exactly, you don't need a specialized navigation application draining your battery. You just need a lightweight tool that logs the raw geographic data locally and categorizes it efficiently.
Now, as sophisticated as some of these APIs are, I do have to point out a genuinely hilarious quirk we ran into while digging through this catalog.
Oh, the photo frames?
Yes, they have an app listed called Digital Photo Frame, which utilizes your screen to cycle through uploaded images with transition effects. Standard stuff. But right in the middle of the productivity section, there is a second, completely different app that is also inexplicably named digital photo frame.
A bit of a mix-up there.
Just a bit. If you actually open it up, it's an EPUB file reader. It allows you to load electronic books, highlight text, and navigate through chapters.
It appears to be a classic cataloging error on the back end, likely a duplicated database entry for the app title.
It's just funny. You tap on digital photo frame fully expecting to set up a slideshow of your golden retriever, and instead the interface opens up and you're suddenly highlighting passages in War and Peace.
It is quite a shock.
But honestly, it adds a layer of unexpected charm. It reminds you that this vast hub isn't some hyper-sanitized corporate product. It's built and maintained by actual human developers pushing code.
It certainly breaks the sterile corporate mold. But pivoting back to the technical utility of the platform, the sheer breadth of niche applications they offer is quite staggering.
It really acts as a Swiss Army knife for your browser. Just doing a rapid-fire rundown of some of the localized tools, you got a multi-base calculator that automatically converts complex numbers between binary, octal, decimal, hexadecimal, and base 64.
Which, again, caters brilliantly to developers and designers.
How so?
Well, if a web designer needs to instantly convert a hexadecimal color code into a base 64 string to embed a small graphic directly into a CSS file, that bypasses an external image request to speed up a website. This calculator handles that heavy lifting instantly right there in the browser.
They also feature a color palette creator for testing UI gradients and an encryptor-decryptor tool.
That one is very cool.
You paste in your text, provide a secret seed password, and it scrambles the message into ciphertext. Only someone with that exact seed password can decode it.
If we connect this to the bigger picture of personal cybersecurity, the encryption tools, and specifically the password generator they offer, are critical. In today's landscape, robust password security is your only real defense against credential stuffing and brute force attacks.
Right, but there are a million password generators online. What makes a PWA version better?
It comes down to where the computation happens. When you use a standard website to generate a password, there is always a risk that the generated string is being transmitted over a network or temporarily logged on a remote server.
Which defeats the purpose.
Exactly. With a progressive web app utilizing service workers, the password generation algorithm executes entirely locally, client-side, right on your machine's processor.
So it never leaves my laptop.
That password never travels across a network payload. Having a frictionless, locally executing PWA that can instantly generate cryptographically strong passwords is a massive security upgrade for the average user, especially someone who might otherwise rely on a compromised cloud tool.
Security handled locally. I absolutely love that. But then, right next to the encryption and developer tools, you find applications utilizing hardware in ways you just wouldn't expect from a browser, like the dog whistle app.
Yes, this is a prime example of modern web applications leveraging the Web Audio API to directly interface with device hardware.
Yeah.
In this case, your phone's internal speakers.
Well, it's a wild use case. The app is programmed to emit high-frequency sounds, specifically in the 15,000 to 22,000 hertz range.
Right.
Humans generally top out at hearing frequencies around 20,000 hertz, but dogs have a vastly different auditory range, hearing up to 45,000 hertz or even higher. So it uses your device to generate a pitch that acts as an immediate training cue or a startling mechanism for a dog while remaining mostly inaudible to you.
It is an effective application of hardware, but it is imperative we highlight the developer's own animal welfare caveat regarding this tool.
Very true.
The instructions are explicitly clear on this. This application must only be used as a momentary negative reinforcement, immediately paired with a verbal command. It is not something you leave running.
You don't just blast it.
Absolutely not. Generating frequencies at that pitch, particularly at high volumes or for prolonged periods, can cause significant stress or even physical pain in an animal's ear canal. It's a testament to the power of the hardware access these web apps now have, which means they require responsible use.
A very necessary warning. Just because it lives in a browser doesn't mean it isn't generating real physical output.
Exactly.
But shifting gears from utility and hardware, the Hub also features a surprising amount of applications designed specifically to unleash your creativity or just help you decompress. They have a virtual piano that actually leverages 3D visual effects and DOREMI note mapping.
It's very responsive.
It's fully optimized to respond to multi-touch on your mobile screen. Or you can map it directly to your PC keyboard.
They also feature a pixel art creator, which utilizes the HTML5 Canvas API. It allows users to design retro characters and 8-bit landscapes entirely from scratch. You have precision painting tools, eyedroppers for color matching, and the ability to export your finished canvas locally.
It's amazing to think you can draw retro video game assets right in a browser tab without installing any graphic design software.
It really is.
And if you want some background noise while you do it, they have a World Internet Radio app. You can search live streaming audio stations by specific countries or genres and curate a local favorites list.
The catalog feels endless.
It does. But beyond entertainment, Ufumbuzi also dedicates a significant portion of the hub to personal growth and long-term goal management.
Two standout applications in that specific category are the body measurement calculator, which logs your BMI and health assessment history over time, and the Bible tracking app.
The Bible tracking app is an interesting concept because it doesn't actually contain the text of the book itself.
Right, no text at all.
It's strictly a dedicated logistical tool designed to track your reading program. It maintains a highly detailed local record of the chapters you've completed, and it visualizes your progress using exact percentages and statistical breakdowns.
This raises an important question about the psychology of human motivation. Why do we actually need a dedicated digital application just to track a book we are reading or to log our weight? The answer lies in the deeply proven psychology of data visualization.
Because without seeing the progress, we just give up.
Essentially, yes. When a user undertakes any long-term study, whether it's reading a massive complex text over a year or embarking on a long-term health journey like monitoring body mass, the sheer volume of the task can quickly become cognitively overwhelming.
It's just too big to hold in your head.
Precisely. By providing clear visual progress bars, localized statistics, and a persistent history, the application acts as an external motivational anchor. It transforms a daunting, abstract, multi-year goal into highly manageable, quantifiable steps. That constant visual feedback loop is critical to maintaining discipline over long periods.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener, as you look at your own devices? We've covered a massive spectrum of software today.
We really have scratched the surface, though.
True. But what you have access to with the Ufumbuzi Free Web Apps Hub is an incredibly lightweight, highly secure toolkit sitting right at your fingertips. You can stream live media playlists using their IPTV player. You can run localized text-to-voice conversions in multiple languages. You can manage your complex freelance invoices, generate secure passwords, or even tune a piano.
All from a browser.
All from a browser. And you can do all of this while reclaiming your device's memory, completely avoiding invasive App Store tracking permissions, and operating entirely offline when needed.
My final synthesis of this entire ecosystem comes back to a core principle. Technology, and specifically software, is most valuable when it is understood and applied efficiently. Progressive web apps represent a dramatically smarter, significantly less cluttered way to interact with our machines.
They really do.
They fundamentally respect the user's hardware limitations, they respect the user's privacy, and they definitively prove that we do not need to rely on heavy, bloated native applications for the vast majority of our daily digital needs.
It genuinely shifts your entire perspective on what a browser is capable of doing. And we want to leave you with one final, slightly provocative thought to mull over as you go about your week.
Go for it.
We've seen exactly how powerful these progressive web apps have become. They require no downloads, they hook directly into your operating system, and most importantly, they operate completely outside the control, the exorbitant fee structures, and the algorithmic whims of the major tech giants.
The gatekeepers.
Right. So if PWAs continue to evolve, leveraging deeper hardware APIs until they are indistinguishable from native apps, could we be witnessing the slow, inevitable death of the traditional App Store, and with it, a massive fundamental shift in who actually controls the devices we rely on every single day?
Is a fascinating possibility.
It is definitely something to think about the next time you go to download a 50-megabyte calculator. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.